Alrighty, we are back once again, and what do you know? Look what I have up here. It seems, yes, it was Fran's fault. I don't know how or why, but it was. So I've gotten that sorted. No, actually, I know why. So what I was doing is I was using an underpowered USB hub. I ended up switching back to my power pack, and lo and behold, everything started to work correctly. And using my little USB port meter on there, it produced better results, hence not overloading the system, drawing too much power to get everything going. And now we have this guy here. And that guy is finally working. So now what I need to do, now that we've gotten the power issue under control, and I'm able to run 2 cameras on here, mind you, it's not full screen. We are going to have some limitations, of course, but I can run VNC viewer now, and that's not going to be a problem. And I can add my external microphones or a USB sound card, and from there, yeah, we can actually start to do some streaming on the Raspberry Pi. So, and this is on the 3B Plus. So when it comes to being able to stream a bird's nest that was wanting to be done, most certainly you can definitely do that with this. It's gonna be a little laggy, of course, until we tweak it and get those settings down. And right now it is on Wi-Fi. Yeah, so the program itself uses about 30% CPU, and the rest is going to be OBS. So right now it's stating that if I just get rid of myself here for one moment here, you can see in the bottom right hand corner, CPU usage is at 56, 57. But if you look at the top there, you can see that we're 7980. So that's letting me know that, you know, 32 to 35% is being used by OBS. And since we do have 2 cameras going, that is a bit more. I have the microscope on my HDMI plug, which is a Raspberry Pi branded HDMI cable. And yeah, then I have the Logitech C922, which is running the main stream on the left. Now, the only thing we really have to do is add audio and then tweak those settings. But we can add audio just by using that C922 microphone. But I'm going to be wanting to stream. I don't think I'll be able to stream tomorrow night the way I want to. We'll probably have to just do it with the main PC until I can play around, tweak some more of the settings. But tomorrow we're going to try to get some more PC apps and things running on the Raspberry Pi 4. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. I think there's even a Humble bundle I was actually thinking about getting, just because I think it would be cool to try to get some other programs running under the Raspberry Pi. Over the years, I've collected so much software that I've purchased in that, and it would be nice to even get something like Cool Edit Pro to run on here, just for, instead of Audacity, right? Audacity is great, but I grew up using Cool Edit Pro, so back in the 90s, early 2000s kind of deal is when I started using it. So it's something that I'm familiar with, and I enjoy. I can get around it quickly, get it set up to the way I want it, and be able to record my audio, edit it, and have a good sounding product. So with our setup here today, I'm not going to be doing too much because I'll just be playing with some settings. I might have to do some research here and see what actually is going to be the best for getting a nice low latency, well, not even low latency. I'm not really even caring too much about that, just because I want the frame rate to be good. So we'll play with things until we can get it to the point where we're using that 80% and we have a nice smooth stream. Right now, my camera is definitely at a lower frame rate. I think the stream, I have it set up for 24 frames per second. And we'll see how that goes. I honestly have no idea. I'll have to do a couple little test recordings and do a few things before we do that. So it won't be ready for tomorrow like I wanted to, but that's okay. This is the process, right? Figuring out and knowing that, yeah, okay, you might have a micro USB cable, but if you plug it into the wrong thing and it's not getting enough power, then you're going to have issues, like it shutting off on me like it did. And prior to that, it didn't. So it was kind of conflicting. I was like, what's going on? So what I want to do now is I want to get VNC server, or VNC viewer, sorry. We have VNC server going, and be able to use that on the stream here as well. As you can see, I added some text fonts to it. We don't need to have a huge, elaborate streaming setup. We're doing this for fun. I'm not planning on making, millions of dollars on a Raspberry Pi streaming setup. That's just not going to happen. I'm never going to get the quality I want unless I'm using a Raspberry Pi 4, have it overclocked, have it connected to Ethernet, and running maybe a couple other Raspberry Pis doing more of the work for it. So it would be kind of cool to see, like, if there, you could find something where OBS could be run in a cluster. That would be really cool. If someone can do that, please do it. I would love to install something like that and be able to stream that way. But I don't think we're going to see that. But, we're going to work with what we do have. I give props to everyone like BotSpot, who has, done Pi apps and brought us a great library of quick, easy programs to install. Now, I did have that launching issue with OBS on the Raspberry Pi 3, but on the Raspberry Pi 4, I didn't have that issue. I didn't need to create my own launching script for it. So with that being said, that's what's going to happen. You might only have a Pi 3, but if someone builds something on a Pi 4, things might not work correctly, and vice versa, right? So someone building on a Pi 3, it might not work on a Pi 4. It's like, what is it? Steam. The Steam, not the actual Steam, but the one for streaming your PC to it. I can't think of the name. Anyways, that program relied on the drivers that were on the older operating system like Buster, not on the new Bullseye version. So we didn't get that crossover once they jumped over to Bullseye. But that's why they have that legacy version available to us. So we're actually able to continue to use that. And it looks like they are updating it and all that kind of fun stuff. So we don't have to worry too much about that. Yeah, so this is the setup tonight. And I think the first things I'm going to do is I will be getting VNC working on here as well, because we want to be able to switch between our scenes. As far as quality goes, I might even have to do a lower quality output stream just to get things going and just play, tweak, and continue to do like the start recording and be able to just record 10 seconds, 20 seconds, stop it, play it, check it out, and then readjust my settings to what I might need to have everything working correctly. So something to think about going forward. There's definitely a lot of room for us to improve on this. Yeah, so what I'm going to do here is actually going to where do I want to go here? I want to get my other screen up here. So like I said, I'm not going to be on for too long tonight, but I'll be on just enough to get like VNC viewer and a couple other things going probably, and then we will call it a night. And tomorrow is our regular streaming time, so Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time ish. Who knows? Could be a little bit earlier, could be a little bit later, but it will happen. But 7 o'clock is that time that I want to get on here, but things happen, so bear with me. All right, so I do not have VNC viewer on here anymore. Right. Okay. So we are going to go to the recommended software again, install VNC, add it again on here, and then we should be able to have that going as well as the two cameras, and hopefully we'll be able to do something a little bit better. I might see how cameras look through VNC, streaming it from another machine. Who knows, it might run better. And then we'll be able to continue forward with creating different scenarios, like setting up a Raspberry Pi on the workbench with a top-down view over there. So when we go to work over there, or on the 3D printer, another Raspberry Pi on there. Like I do have 4 Raspberry Pi 02Ws that are in my cluster, but there's nothing saying I can't take them out and use them in other projects. There isn't. So that might be something that we want to do going forward. But I do want to play around with the cluster more and later on down the road here. Not too far off, because I was quite excited to get them. All right, so we want to add that. All right. So yeah, after the stream, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try setting up my audio. I won't do that on stream because it's going to be a lot of me going testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. This is a testing on the Raspberry Pi 3B Plus, and just see how that sounds. How can I adjust it, make it better? I'll probably put those limiters and everything on there to make it sound better. But you know, for now, what we'll do is just get VNC back working. Like I said before, we finally got rid of the issue with the power. And close this out here. All right. So now I should be able to launch VNC viewer, and oh, that gonna be, I think that's gonna be, let's go to that one. Okay. Okay, so we got that going. Now we can come back over here, and we're just going to go to properties on here, and there we go. And then we should be able to turn it on. What we'll do is bring that all the way to the top, and it should bump over everything. Come on, get up there. Okay, drag that one down. All right. Then I'm just gonna transform. We're just gonna fit to screen. Okay, there we go. All right, so we got VNC working. So now we can definitely cut through our cameras. We could even have the cameras in the center a little bit bigger, and be able to just turn them on and off one at a time. That way we're not going to be overloading anything as well here. So that might be an option going forward. But the main thing is getting that frame rate to a place where we can actually stream and it's not constantly buffering for people. So that's going to be the main thing. And trying to keep that CPU below that 100 mark. Right now, I do believe we have it overclocked at 1350. I think I did install more RAM, so the Z swap. And right, here, oh, there. And there's going to be so many different things we can tweak. OBS alone is going to be the main one. We're going to want to tweak a bunch of settings, right? So I do have more RAM installed, OBS and Audacity. So like I said, after the stream tonight, I'm not going to be on here for long tonight, and then I'll play around with Audacity tonight. But But tomorrow night we won't be streaming from the Pi3B Plus. We'll wait till probably next week. I want to get everything tuned up nicely. I do have to pick up an Ethernet cable so I can run that through the wall and be able to have that Pi directly connected instead of the Wi-Fi it's on. Because let's go to I should just close this out for right at the moment. So let's close out OBS. Close this out. I think I need that VNC up anymore. So we'll close that. Okay, so I'm just going to open up a web browser here. Or I want to someone must have made something for a speed test. Yeah, look at that. So I want to look at the README here. So I'm just going to apply. And then this way we can kind of see what we're doing on Wi-Fi, and then later on we can test and see the difference with Ethernet and what's all happening, right? I do believe we're clocked. Let's go here. Let's go to add, remove panel items. Go to add. And oh, where'd it go? There we go. That's the one we want. Close that. And now we should be. Okay, so that's not too bad. We're gonna go here, and then we're gonna go to here. I want to see what the commands are to test. And Control-Alt-T. What do we got here? So if I just go speed test CLI, let that run for a moment here. Read through here a little bit more. Okay, I'm just going to black that out for a second there. All right, so what I got was I've got download speed of 40.54 megabytes a second, upload of 12.61. Not bad, but it can definitely be better since I can get a lot better. But with the Raspberry Pi, it has, or the 3B Plus, I do believe is only a 10100, right? So we're not going to get the speeds like we would if we were on a Raspberry Pi 4. So Raspberry Pi 3B Plus specs. I just want to verify that that's what it was. Working. Oh, it's gigabit. So now I'm wondering if it's a 3B I have on here, or we'll have a look and see what the difference is here. I thought one was upgraded, but not by much. What was it? Maybe the Ethernet? So now I'm wondering if I have a 3B on here and not a 3B plus, but okay, so let's have a look here. Um, okay, so I have PoE on this one, so it must be a 3B plus. So we have it at 1.4 gigahertz. So why am I only running it at? Okay. If that's the case, I should be able to overclock the Raspberry Pi 3 B plus a little bit more. I think I only have it set to 1350. So let's go here. So sudo, oh, wrong window there. There we go. Sudo nano, oh, All right, so I only have it at 1350. So let's try at 1600. Now let's try 1550. And we'll reboot that. See how that goes. Like I said, I want to keep that CPU usage down as much as I can. So if I can overclock it and get it to actually come down, then that would be great. But I may break it and we may have to. What are we at? Frequency is on demand and it is going up to 1600 now. 1.6 gigahertz. Well, 1550, and I think it's rounding itself up. So let's open up a browser. Okay. So I actually need to reboot this. So what I'm going to do is go back into here and so the core frequency, that is when it's idle. So when it's idle, it's doing about 500 megahertz. I do believe it should be. So we're going to bump this up to 750. Okay, and then I just want to see if we can boost that idle CPU so it's not too big of a jump because it's jumping like 50% up, right? So, well, more than 50, right? From idle speed up to 1.6 gigahertz. So we want to kind of not have it to be so much of a jump, but have it so idle is below where we can keep the Raspberry Pi at a decent temperature. And come on. What's going on here? Did I break it? May have broken it. I'm just gonna unplug it and plug it back in. We'll see if it comes back up here. Okay, there we go. It's coming. Hold on. Okay, and should just be a moment. It'll be back up and running. Fine. Let's go. That. There we go. Still syncs. Okay, let's open up a browser, see if that loads a little quicker. All right, well, that's a little bit better. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play around with a few settings here. I'm going to come back tomorrow, and we will be on the Raspberry Pi 4, and we will definitely be installing some new Windows programs on the Raspberry Pi 4. Seeing what does work, what doesn't, and we have our list that we're going to upload. I'll probably just do a GitHub page and just update it on there of what's working, what's not, and then you can just drop in. And right now I'll just do it on Bullseye, just because that is the most current Raspberry Pi OS. And then once a new version comes out, we can test within the new versions as well to make sure that programs that were working continue to work in the future. We won't go backwards into Buster yet. Maybe if we get bored, but to me it's not really worth it until we figure out what operating system we want to continue to go with. That has the most programs that will work on it, regardless if it's a Linux-based program or Windows. So we want to be able to completely get rid of the PC and our laptops and just run all Raspberry Pis all the time. Just because that power consumption is so low, you can't beat it. So we'll do that. But yeah, so anyways, for tonight, we're going to call that the night, and we will see you tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we will continue with more Raspberry Pi fun. So make sure to stop in and check it out. So thanks for watching, everyone. Have a wonderful night, and we'll see you next time. Take care,